Yo, Peon, where have you been? I've been worried sick. You've been out all night.
Dude, don't worry. I just went to the store. I had to pick up some milk. Don't worry about it.
What? No. Wait, is that bait and tackle in your hand? Is that a fishing pole sticking out of your
Yeah.
bag?
So what if it is?
Oh, have you been fishing? Like, and what's that in your back pocket? What is
It's a
that?
crab. It's a crab.
It, yeah, it's a crab. It was you. You threw the crab.
Look, AV. I said that to soften the blow. I just came back from the clinic, and you have crabs. Welcome, broadcasting to the entirety of the Super Smash Bros. Community. This is Beyond the Metagame. I'm your host, Peon, this week live from Mementos. I'm joined, as always, by wonderful co-host, AV. AV, how you doing, big guy?
I have a really bad headache from that cat meowing over and over again.
Yeah, that was because AV, you and I, for full disclosure, we hung out last weekend and we were playing on Mementos a little bit, and you kept talking about the cat meows. Come on.
look, the music is amazing. It's a really well designed stage. It's cool. But that cat, that is like the one thing, that the one like spot, the one like blemish on an otherwise like beautiful stage. It just annoys the crap out of me.
I have to say that the meows don't make the stage better; they make the stage worse for sure. Maybe there's like some cat fanatics out there that are just totally pissed off, but I don't know, man.
No, I love cats. I love cats. Don't go get me wrong. It's just for some reason just that it's like the same meow. They didn't record like, if they recorded like 30 different meows, and then I wouldn't put it past them, by the way. If they
Yeah.
recorded 30 different meows from like 15 different breeds of cats, and then it's like
Yes.
they get a different one each time, maybe that would be more interesting, but I don't know it.
I'm open to the idea. But AV, how was your week in Smash this week, buddy?
It was really cool. I mean, I got to visit you and kind of get to hang out with you, played a bunch of games, and we got to go to your regional, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, I want to let you talk about it too, but we both did really well in the tournament. We both got a lot of games in, and I think I had one of the best experiences down in Santa Barbara. And then I came back from the fantasy world of Santa Barbara and did pretty well at my local. I was fairly happy with how I did, and I think I played really well. I think that, as we're going to get into this episode, DK is just a matter of just pushing forward with the character, and I have a lot of faith.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, it was cool playing against you at the tournament. We didn't get to play in singles. We played in doubles, and you lost to my day one Lucina. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, you also lost to my day one Lucina in friendlies the night before, but we don't talk about
that. we don't talk about that. But no, it was really fun to play with you, to play with other people, and yeah, man, that was the only event I've been to in the last week, but it's cool. It's cool. I've been enjoying the game. I've been experimenting with a lot of different characters still, just kind of having fun, keeping it fresh. Like I said, played a little Lucina, played some Pokemon Trainer, been keeping it strong with Inkling. But Smash Ultimate's still a lot of fun, man. I still like it a lot as a competitive game. It really hasn't lost its luster for me yet, and I feel like I'm just improving and improving. So all is good in the world of Peon. But we're done with the world of Peon. We have a very important guest coming up this week, AV. A good friend of mine, and pretty much a good friend of everybody's in the Smash community. I feel like he's kind of like the universal homie, and he is the Game & Watch we know and love called Maister.
Yeah, I mean, it is impossible to dislike this guy's play. It's impossible to dislike this guy's personality. There is so much going for him, and it's really a treat when you get to watch him play. So I think it's so cool that we got a chance to kind of pick his brain and kind of see what's going on behind the hood.
Yeah, oh dude, it was such a treat. Before we get into the episode proper, I do want to do some light housekeeping quickly. You guys can join BTM's Discord server. Our Discord server it's the best Discord server by far. Lots of friendly people that are always looking for games, looking for improvement, and you have a chance to play and talk with AV and I and the rest of our awesome community. BTM also recently launched our Patreon, so please consider supporting and look at the Patreon rewards. We think there's some interesting tidbits in there. Um, and of course, BTM has some merch. Summer is just around the corner, and we're selling tank tops, baby. I want to see those guns out pronto. Don't even think about it. Just put the guns in the sun. Additionally, there will be a BTM Discord tournament the first Sunday of every month, starting this month, May. So please sign up, join our Discord. You'll see the links to join. Come and fight for some eShop gift cards. It'll be a great time. AV, that's all I have for housekeeping. What should people look out for during this interview?
There's a few things. Something that's very near and dear to my heart is playing a low tier, playing a mid tier, and should you keep doing it? How to push the character, staying positive in the game, kind of not letting anything get to you. What should you do to become a pro player? All of these things are things that we go into, and Meister has a lot of good insight on it.
So all that and more in just 1 second. Welcome back to Beyond the Metagame. This week, AV and I are joined by the illustrious, the amazing, the Game & Watch. It's your boy Maister. Meister, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Dude, it's great to have you, bro. If you don't know Meister, you probably do if you've ever watched Smash Bros. You know him from, I think it's safe to say your breakout was Combo Breaker 2018 back in the Smash 4 days, where you won a major kind of seemingly out of nowhere. But after that, you kind of became like the Bayo Slayer. Like I remember you beating, it was a Mistake, right, at Genesis.
It was Mistake, but funnily enough, that same tournament at Genesis, I beat Mistake, and then Salem beat me.
Oh, well, speaking of Salem, Abhi, you wanted to talk about this. You should get right into this.
Yeah, I heard you have a money match coming up with Salem.
Listen. All I'm gonna say is that guy's at a clear disadvantage, and he sucks.
Dude, I'm so excited to see it, bro. I'm so excited to see it. And yeah, that's coming up? Smash and Splash, right? You guys are doing a best of 10.
Yeah.
First to 10?
So there's this one guy. He used to be like my old sponsor. Here in Mexico, he said I should put like 100 more and he'll pay for it if I lose, which I'm not. So he said like, yo, tweet at Salem and say that you regret it. Like, say it's not $100 money match. Say it's 200 or nothing.
Dude, I'm actually, if anybody wants to bet on Salem, I am down to bet for my boy Meister because there's no way. I mean, like let's talk about some of your more recent results. You got third at Full Bloom 5. Yes. You actually you beat MVD. It was like the cleanest 3-0 I've ever seen, and of course he was rocking the snake. So you've proven that you were good at the matchup at like the highest levels. So what is Salem thinking?
He's probably thinking that like, oh well, he said it himself yesterday on Twitter. He went like, well, matchup inexperience doesn't mean it's a bad matchup. I'm like, what do you mean? I literally 3-0'd MVD.
Yeah, it's like kind of a crazy thought. Like, do you like what do you think makes Snake struggle with that matchup?
Bucket and disadvantage state. So essentially, Snake can't use like half his move kit because compared to like Ness or Lucas, Ness and Lucas can like just heal themselves, which is also good. But the difference with Game & Watch is Game & Watch kills you at like 0. Like if I'm not incorrect, Snake's projectiles are the only projectiles that make Bucket kill at 0. The rest kill at like 20 or 15.
Oh wow!
He pretty much like can't use Nikita, right? Or like even.
Oh yeah, he can't use Nikita either because I can just turn around and absorb it if he uses it off stage. Because you can control Bucket while you're in the air. You can like turn around.
It is ridiculous, but yeah, that kind of like brings up a point, like the fact that I mean, I had Salem's exact quote earlier. He was kind of talking smack about the fact I believe he called Game Watch gimmicky. And I
And
kind of see that a lot
non-existent.
when people, and yeah, yeah, gimmicky and non-existent. And I kind of see people do that to you a lot, where they'll kind of say, oh, yeah, Meister's really good, and he plays Game and Watch. I feel like people sometimes take some of your credit away just because the character that you use is uncommon.
Right.
I mean, do you feel that as well?
I mean, I do, but like to be honest, like I kind of don't care because like I have the same thing here in Mexico where people tend to go like, "Oh my god, he won because he got a 9." But every time they say that, I go like, I mean, yeah, I got a 9, but like, who cares? I won. That's it. Like you literally take those. Like that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you clearly can't be winning every match because you got a 9. So at some point, they have to give you that credit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cause like it's not all about like it's not all about like getting nines. Cause like if it were like that, I would be winning every single tournament.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you got first at well the latest Mexican major. I think it was called Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, Yeti and 8-Bit Man came.
Right, right, and that's definitely steep competition. So it's kind of interesting. How long have you been kind of at the top of the Mexican metagame?
I think maybe like after a month of Ultimates releases when I started getting like good results. Cause like the first 2 weeks I actually mained Pichu because I thought Game and Watch sucked because they changed them quite a lot. But then I
Right.
got used to Game and Watch and I started placing well in Mexico. So I'd say like after a month of the game's release.
Now, this is my question. Do you feel, because there's certain people that you associate with characters,
Right.
for like Fatality, it's Falcon. For
Hmm.
Meister, it's Game & Watch. You're really like the only Game & Watch to ever have amazing success in like Smash Bros. History, really. I mean, if you think about
Yeah.
it. So how much of that like do you associate? Like, are you a Smash Bros. Player or are you like a Game & Watch player? Or
And then I
is there even a
think,
difference?
yeah, no, I get you. Like, I think I am a Smash Bros. Player because when I was using Pichu, I mean, my results weren't like too good. Like, I actually got 17th my first tournament, but that's exactly that. It was my first Ultimate tournament. But then I actually got third with Pichu at one Mexican tournament, which was really stacked. So even like players like Chag and Javi were telling me like, "Oh my god, your Pichu's actually good. I'm so happy about it because that means you weren't carried by Game and Watch." Yeah, like actually though, because like Smash 4, I could be carried in a certain way, like every other character that had like a ding dong. Because I had Tutu, I had 9, and that was it. I had an invincible up smash as well, and they literally took all of that apart from Game and Watch in this game.
Right.
So the fact that I could like start doing things with other characters means that I'm a good player. I'm just like I'm not good with like Game and Watch, and that's it. I'm good with like other characters as well. I understand the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fun. It's really funny because it's like people. It's like Smash Four had so many like quote unquote ding dongs. I mean, I mean DK,
Oh
so
right, right.
right. Yeah, I mean that's the iconic one. I mean, people told me I was carried in Smash Four because I played DK,
Hmm.
and now I mean DK still has a ding dong, but it's not consistent, and I'm still getting decent results. And it's funny how much like you said, like actually playing, like having good fundamentals and playing the game matters. So like still, even when you play a low tier, like there, I think even more so your fundamentals come into play.
Well, that's the funny thing is like I think that Game Watch is a different character in this game. He's so different that I don't think that you could chop it down to like, oh, Meister's just good with Game Watch. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
proof. He changed so much that you have to be like, oh no, he's just good at the game. Like
Yeah.
he just gets it.
Yeah, because for example, well, most importantly, they changed his upper. His upper is now like multi hit. I mean, it already was in Smash 4, but it's like it's multi hit. It never kills, and then they changed his forwarder to like the bomb instead of the credit card, and then they changed
Right.
his down smash to where it buries, and you can control chip, and I don't know, man. It's just they changed a lot of stuff, and then so like having all of that stuff changed, like week 1 and 2 of Ultimate, I was like, what did they do to this character? But like
Yeah,
then I
but
got used to it, and I was like, wait, this is not bad.
do you think he's better in this game?
Oh yes, because he's consistent now.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah,
Now,
like
it's yeah.
in Smash
oh,
4, like they got out of like two range, and your only kill option was like what, up smash. In this game, you have like drag down nair into like down tilt or down smash that buries at any percent. So like he's consistent now. That's the good thing.
yeah. Plus, like edge guarding is so good, and Game Watch,
Oh
like you were already amazing at edge guarding in Smash Four, but in
yeah.
this game you have so many more opportunities to do it, like with nair gimps and back airs, and it's crazy how low Game Watch can go and to like be fine, totally fine.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now, this is a question I have for you.
Okay.
You're like as we've said, you're like the only Game and Watch, really, at least the only relevant Game and Watch in the top level, like only like PGR level Game and Watch. So a lot of top players don't know the matchup. I mean, that's just a fact. But like how do you take advantage of that fact? Like how do you make people pay for being unfamiliar with a matchup?
So that has to do with like what Salem said about Game and Watch, like the gimmicks. There are some gimmicks with Game and Watch that work against people who don't know the matchup, and those same gimmicks do not work against people who actually know what to do against the character. Like, for example, the I have a setup which is dropping two bombs on shield and then down smashing. That's a if you shield the first bomb, then the second bomb is guaranteed, and the down smash is also guaranteed on shield. So it's a true shield breaking setup. But if you know the matchup, you will know that as soon as I like drop the first bomb, you can just run away from Game and Watch because like the bomb takes 30 frames to explode. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So stuff like that is what I take advantage of, or like ledge trapping with bacon. That's another thing. Some people don't know how to get off the ledge against bacon. It's really hard, but there are ways to get out of the ledge, depending on your character.
Can I say
Yeah, I
something
mean,
man to man,
yeah.
Meister?
Uh,
Sorry, Abby, this is important. Okay, I don't like your bacon, Meister. I don't. Every time I've ever played a quick play Game of Watch, I swear to God, I eat like a breakfast for 16 minutes. It's the whole match. I'm just out there hounded on some bacon. It's
I mean
terrible.
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like, can you actually enlighten us on and our listeners on how to get out of bacon?
all right,
Because
so so there's a moment. So Game and Watch throws out. I don't remember if it's either 5 or 6 bacons, but after that number of bacons that he tosses, he stops throwing out food. So when he stops throwing out food, that's when you choose get up option. But the problem is that I can vary the timing in between the food. So if I'm noticing that you're getting up after my food runs out, I will just like start spamming it a little bit slower or something like that.
oh
But you just gotta be like really, really patient at the ledge or immediately jump. You can immediately jump and you will avoid all of the bacon. Just the fact that if it catches your jump, you're screwed.
Meister, you might have just saved me. Like, I might get like 3 more characters into Elite Smash just because of what you just said.
You're welcome.
Yeah, what's your PayPal, dude? Let me send.
Yeah, that'll be
Uh,
$100 for my Salem money match, please.
oh, that's awesome. Well, like you talk about the shield pressure setups. Do you think that because when you play a really high tier character, like let's say like Wolf or Pichu, some of the more popular high tiers, it's very easy in the sense that other people do the work for you. Other people lab the combos, and you can kind of just pick what they do and use it for your own play.
Right.
What is it like being an uncommon, character main in terms of your habits in the lab? And how would you advise other obscure character mains to like invent things and to innovate things?
So I was exactly talking about that on stream today. I wanted to like start getting more kill confirms or getting more setups with my character, even though I think I've already developed enough of his metagame. Um, I think it's more so about being creative with your character and try to do stuff that others haven't like really done. Like for example, what you were saying about Pichu, like there's Boyd. Boyd made a guide about Pichu saying that like his most optimal down throw combo, I think it's down throw up air forwarder, which deals 35. Maybe you can try instead of doing the regular thing, maybe you can try doing like I don't know, upper into like start the lightning loops with a backer or something like that, and then all of a sudden, wow, you discovered a new tech for your character. So it also has to do a lot with like spending time in training mode. Training mode is literally like, okay, you can just freestyle for as much as you want to, like take your time, whatever. You can just mess around. And I swear to God, the more you mess around on training mode, the more tech you find of your character. Like either whether it was intentionally or whether it was just like, oh, I accidentally found some new tech. I swear training mode is good for that. Like you should all spend more time on training mode.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because a lot of times I don't go into training mode, and sometimes I'm kind of put off by the fact that it's difficult to constantly find new things. It feels like everyone's already done everything that
Yeah, their job.
I've tried to find with a character. And is there any way to kind of make it more exciting, make it more valuable, especially when I don't have much time to play the game?
So that's another thing. If you want to be like you, if you want people to recognize you for what you do, is you should implement your playstyle and the way you play into your character. Because some people can tell you like, no, you should play Pichu this way, or you should play Inkling this way, or I don't know, don't play Bella because she sucks. And I mean, she sucks, right? But if you want to play her, go ahead. Um, but if you want to like get your own stuff done, it is definitely all about playstyle. um Chag recently got like some sick stuff with Inkling's roller. Apparently you can do, instead of like just burying into side smash, you can also like down air into up air, which is also confirmed, and it's, I think, a lot safer than just side smashing or something. But it just looks more true than just maybe messing up like an input for a side smash. And I didn't know about that, but that's his playstyle because Chag is like super creative, right? And it's all about you implementing your playstyle, because if you follow what people tell you to do or how you're supposed to play a character, you're never gonna get your stuff done. You're just gonna be playing as someone else, and you're never gonna like progress.
That's actually some of the coolest advice I've ever heard in terms of Smash. Like, I think it's much more intuitive. It's much more logical to like be like, okay, what do the pros do? I'm just going to try to emulate that. I'll just be, I play Pichu. I'm just going to be, I'm just going to watch Void. But I
Yeah,
think there's something so powerful about like owning your own playstyle. Like, no, 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 no. Void could be Void. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to have fun with that. Like, that's actually pretty inspiring.
yeah, yeah. Because like that's also something else. Because like if you're playing like yourself and not like someone else, you're also having fun at the same time. Because it's like you're being you, like you're doing your stuff, so you're concentrated on yourself. Like you can freestyle as much as you want to.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I just dare a bunch of neutral as DK. Like
Oh,
I just dare a bunch of neutral. I fair a bunch of neutral. I mean I'm like B reverse down being all over the place, and it's like so fun because when people see me on stream and people like watch me play, it's so much cooler being like the guy who actually can like move, like can actually look cool moving with DK than and it's like, and that actually helps me improve because it's like it's so cool being like having that character personality, and that is something that actually really motivates me to improve. So I definitely I definitely identify with that a lot.
a part of me is like the one thing that I'm worried about with this kind of mindset is that sometimes, like, let's say somebody wants to be super aggressive. Like, let's say like, it's like your average cat and falcon main. We all have one in our communities, and like he goes like 0-2, 1-2 every week, and he's like, you know what? I just want to be aggressive, but like every time I try to play aggressive, people just camp me, and they kind of use their own play style as an excuse for why they aren't succeeding. They blame the game for not for not allowing their play style to be effective. Like, do you ever encounter that? Like, would you have any suggestions for those kind of people?
So I think that kind of mindset of like, oh, the game is not allowing me to progress. I think that kind of mindset was allowed back in Smash 4, because Smash 4 was a game that rewarded the player who was losing most of the time and not the player who was winning, or the player with the more fundamentals. Because in Smash 4, you would see all of these crazy offsets by like people who no one ever heard of. I don't know, like X person beat Sam Sora or X person beat Elegant, and you go like, uh, right, sure. But it was more so about like rage and the mechanics of the game. But in a game like Ultimate, where even though it's obviously not perfect, it has its flaws. It does reward the better player more than Smash 4. So what I would literally do against those players is I would literally be like, get good. Like, to be honest, it's literally that, because it's like, all right, you probably were one of those guys who said like, all right, Ultimate is gonna fix all of my issues, and now that Ultimate came out, you're saying the same thing as in Smash 4. Ah, yeah, sure, bro. Like, no, that's not how it
Yeah,
works.
I
Um,
feel that. I also don't really have very much like empathy for those kind of people, I guess.
yeah,
Uh,
no, and you shouldn't really like, no.
Yeah, it's really funny because Peon be elegant.
Oh, really now?
Smash 4.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, for example, Peon main Cloud, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there were very few characters that were like based on fundamentals, and Cloud was one of them. Diddy Kong was one of them. But for example, characters like Bayo or characters like Ryu, that was like no, yeah, no. Because Cloud was like, you get limit ones, and you really need to know when to use it, or else you're screwed. Or like, you really need to know how to recover or when to get in, because if not, you're gonna get gamed or whatever. But Bayo was just safe on everything. Ryu would kill you at 40. Mario would ladder you off the top. Well, even though Mario is like fundamentals, though. Um,
Yeah. He had that jank factor. Like Cloud
exactly.
was overpowered, but he wasn't jank.
So people said Cloud was overpowered, but I mean, I think he was too powerful, but not overpowered, I'd say.
I agree. Can I say something strong? I don't even think that Cloud was necessarily the second best character in Smash Four.
Me neither. I didn't even think about him being top 5.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yes.
That is Meister, you're bold. I didn't know you were that bold.
Yeah, because like, listen, in Smash 4, Cloud would at least lose to Lucina, Marth, Bayo, Sheik, Diddy Kong,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like, that's
And
5
then
characters
but
better than him. That's it.
he was also pretty even with a lot of you told me that you thought that Game of Watch Cloud was even.
Oh yeah, like at best.
And I'm inclined to agree. I didn't believe you until I played you. Actually, I want
Mhm.
to talk about this. I want to pivot to this. So you and I played in tournament a few times, and one thing I I love about your play style that I'll never forget. That it kind of haunts me actually. Like I think about it at night when I'm alone and I'm sweating and my and there's I have not near any. I'm alone again. I'm alone. There's no woman to comfort me or to make me forget about what happened to me. And we were in bracket. I think it was it Hyrule Saga or was it Switch? I forgot which one we played at. We played at some 2GG event.
Oh, Hyrule
And
Saga, yeah.
yes, and me and you, we had bonded the weekend before, so we were in the same pool, so we were just chilling, talking, and fate would have it that we would meet. And I was starting off so hot. I was playing like a goddamn dream. And both games, you were down an entire stock, and then you almost kind of flipped this switch in your head, like, okay, I'm not gonna get hit anymore. I need to clutch this out. And you just destroyed me back to back. And I wonder, like, what is that about you that allows you to be so clutch? Like, have you been able to define why you have that quality?
I think it is the fact that even though I don't like it, I think it is the fact that I start playing more like safe. But when I say safe, I mean campy. So there's that, and I think that's about it, honestly, because it even happens to me in Ultimate. At Ragnarok, I was losing real bad against Javi. I was down by like an entire stock as well, and I was like, wait, no, just remember it's Lucina. You shouldn't really approach, and you're doing it. So as long as you wait for like the opponent's mistakes and you keep on capitalizing on that, then you should be fine. And that's exactly what I do. I just start playing more safe, and eventually the opponent just goes like, "Oh my god, I cannot kill him. I just want to win." But as long as you stay with that mentality of like, I'm not gonna approach, you will eventually win. So that's it.
I mean, that's crazy because like Game and Watch doesn't really have that many good approach options. So you just kind of like trick your opponent into saying into making them approach, right? You just got to make them
Yeah,
angry.
kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one thing that I've heard a lot in my region and overall in competitive Smash is that there's this idea of learning the game when you play someone and then learning the matchup. When
Right.
I've heard a lot of people say that then when they play against Game and Watch, they learn the only thing they learn is they learn how to play against Game and Watch, and I personally feel like this is not productive, and I think this is weird. Like, have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
And do you feel that you only like that there's some limitations when you play against these like really niche characters?
Yeah, because like for example with Game and Watch, it's funny because I've always said um that even if you want Game and Watch practice, every single Game and Watch plays the character differently. Like, and in Smash 4 that was an issue because you looked at matchup charts from whichever Game and Watch main that you wanted to look at, and the matchup chart was always different. Like, you take a look at, I don't know, Snake's matchup chart in this game, or like Inkling's matchup chart, and most of the matchup charts are right about the same except for one or two things. Game and Watches though, every single character is plays differently because every single Game and Watch main plays differently. So it's like, if you want me to teach you the matchup, sure, I'll do it, but don't expect the other guy to play the same as I play, because we all have different playstyles. Some just go for like nines, some others just go for down smash berry into forward smash, or some others just spam up smash.
That's okay. Why is that? Like, are Game and Watch players just like high on crack cocaine? Like, what makes Game and Watch players so crazy?
Listen, not me, boy. But I don't know. I guess it's the fact that the character is just too flashy at times because of how
Yeah,
awkward he is.
I imagine the Game and Watch Discord is just like full of sin, and like everybody just there's definitely a lot of like I don't know, like Meister. I think that like there has to be something a little bit insane about you and all other Game Watch players. Let's say, you know, before you were a competitor, you'd watch the game, you'd play the game, and no one around you would be playing Game and Watch. No one, you know, no good players would play him, and you were still crazy enough to think, and then to prove that you were correct. You know what? I'm just going to be good with Game and Watch. Like, do you think that crazy thought unifies like these kind of obscure character mains? Like
Maybe. The thing is, the thing about the playstyles, like I said, is that also has to do with like our mentality. Because some people, like, right now, I've been seeing Game and Watch like top 20 in Ultimate, and I stand by that. But some people go like, "No, you're crazy. Like, the character's bottom two, like Zero says." And some other people go like, "No, the character is like top 15. No, the character is mid tier. No, the character is." I man, then might as well take him out of the game. Then, like, oh my god, if you all are not gonna agree on where to put him, then like kick him out of the game. I don't know, but like, can we all get to an agreement?
you're just looking for peace, is all.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. But like, listen, I've come to the conclusion that like, no matter how many tournaments they win, no matter how big they are, I guarantee you, if I win something like, I don't know, let's exaggerate a little bit, like Evo, people are gonna be like, "Yo, Meister was right. Game Watch is not bottom two. He can be mid tier now."
Yeah, it's so weird because like I feel that with like I mean DK is not low tier by any means, but like I feel like every week so everyone has like a new place that they want to place him. Like every mid tier, every low tier, like just suffers from this like this constant like it's like you'll do like one thing cool, like you'll do the character's coolest thing, and then like someone will be watching this like, yo, that's broken.
You
It's
just go
so
like, "Yeah, what
constant.
did I tell you guys?" Like, oh my god.
So Meister, I guess for a lot of people, you kind of are like the face of the low tier mains, and I put low tier in quotation marks because I don't believe that Game Watch is low tier, but that's what people kind of associate you as. You're kind of like a low tier hero in many people's eyes. Do you have any advice for like the fellow in quotation marks low tier players or people that want to like push their obscure character as far as they can?
Cause like at least for me, it took me how long did it take me to? It took me like 4 years to get this good with Game and Watch, and I kept seeing people like I don't know Reggie back in Smash Four placing well with the character, and I was like, if he can do it, then anyone can do it because that means it's possible. And then you see like other characters placing well as well, like low tiers. Like maybe they don't place well as often as like a top tier would, but if you feel comfortable with your main, and if you're having fun, most importantly, that if you're having fun with that character, even though the character is low tier, you will eventually get up there because it's like if you're having fun, if you have faith in your character, that is also one of the most important things. If you have faith in your character and if you have faith in yourself, then you can totally do it. How long will it take you? I cannot tell you that. Everyone has a different learning curve. Um, but it just takes time. You just gotta be patient.
Yeah, I mean that's what I feel sometimes too. Like I'm constantly going back and forth on whether or not it's worth it or not. And like if when it's like I it's like other players like come up to me and it's like if someone says, "Hey, like like should I just play a top tier?" I feel very conflicted, right? It's like I do want to tell them to keep playing that mid tier low tier character, but it's like if all they want to do is win, like is it best to just tell them to go play the top tier?
I mean, yeah, if your objective is to win, the smart thing would be like to go for a straight off top tier. But if your objective is to win and have fun, then you should pick a character that fits you, that you feel comfortable with, and that you feel like you're gonna have the best chances with. Because like if you're like you said, if your objective is to just win, then sure, just pick a top tier. But if you're having both, like the best of both worlds, like um winning and having fun, then just choose a character that you feel comfortable with. If you got lucky and the character that you like is top tier and good for you, you're a lucky bastard. but, but if the character that you play is quote unquote bad, um and is low tier but you have fun with it, then sure man, go ahead. Like beats
Right,
me.
right. I mean, like in that vein, like how did you just like one day decide like how did you just settle on this character? Like there's so many people who have like these things called like character crises, and everyone's constantly switching characters. How did you just say, all right, this feels good. This is the character for me.
um so for Game & Watch, at least I used to play him back in Melee when I was a kid. So when I got Smash 4, I unlocked him on the 3DS and I went like, "Oh, I used to main this character back in the days." So I should probably try him out again. Literally, the only reason to why I started maining Game & Watch back in Smash 4 again, it was because I got a 9 on For Glory and I went like, "Dude, it would be dope if I landed this in a tournament." Like and since then I haven't dropped the character because of that. And that's why you see me go for 9s and stuff. Because like I like to think of myself as a crowd pleaser. I really like to go for flashy stuff. So like it's exactly that. It's like search for a character that fits you. I like to like please the crowd, for example. I like to look flashy. I like to like make people go like, "Oh my god, have you seen this guy move?" Like that's what I like.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing is every time I've ever seen you play in tournament, and even whether it be like on stream or even like the YouTube comments, every time I look at one of your sets and like, oh, that's my boy Meister doing, and everybody's like, yo, this Game and Watch is nuts. And I think it's more than just the Game and Watch. I think that like your personality, the way that you smile on stage, like you just seem like a genuine guy that just like likes the game and has fun playing and competing and proving people wrong. Like, what about the way you approach the game like lets you have so much fun? Like how do you manage to always be in a good mood when you're competing and always have a smile on your face?
To be honest, I don't know, dude. Like, I like to think of myself as, and I've had this. It's not an issue, obviously, but I've had this rather situation since I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, I used to play football, and everyone is all like football, not soccer, like American football. Everyone is like so tough and like always mad and stuff like that, and they're like rude and stuff. And I was always there, like smiling, and all of my partners always went like, all my teammates just went like, "Dude, you're literally getting hit. Why are you smiling?" And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just having fun. That's it. And then my coaches were also like, "Bro, you're literally getting hurt on the field. Why are you smiling?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I like that's just myself, okay? Like that's the way I am. If I like getting hit by another fat guy, that's fine, bro. Like, like that's okay, dude. That's fine. You should respect it. No, no, like jokes aside, like that's literally me. Like I've always had this mentality of like you should like approach everything on a positive way, no matter what. So like it's just that, and like for example, in this case, it's a video game. Video games are made for you to have fun, unless you're playing like I don't even know Dark Souls or something. But they're made for you to have fun. They're made for you to have fun. So it's like I mean, if you're having fun, if you're competing and having fun, then beats me, man. That you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that so much because, like, especially because you play a character that, like, even if you're like down 2 stocks and you're down like a bunch of percent, it's like anything can just randomly bring you back. It's like you're always in it. You're always having fun. That's how I feel too. Like it's like in Smash Four, like all it took is like you're at 150%. It's like as DK, all it takes is one grab.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
I think at least you gotta have fun, AV. I don't think anybody else in the building was having fun. Oh
I was
man.
I
I
was
didn't
always
like
so
dying
happy.
at 40 from Ding Dong, but at the same time, I went like, I have a 9. I cannot say.
So like you have that like positivity, and it's like inside of you. It's just like part of who you are. Like, do you think that gives you an advantage as a competitor?
Oh, absolutely. Because like I was gonna say that's also part of like the way my parents like raised me, and I absolutely thank them for that. 'Cause, like when I was just starting competing in Smash, my dad used to come with me to tournaments. So he stayed like the entire day, like just to watch me. And later on, of course, he just went like to take me to the tournament and then go back home. Because, I mean, that's quite understandable. You stay there for like 8+ hours doing nothing. It's like okay, dad, yeah, you can go home if you want to. Like you're gonna get bored eventually. Um, but like the first times, I think it was MK Leo who I had to fight or something. And I was like, Dad, I'm so nervous because like this guy's like super like top player and I'm like nothing. And he was like, it doesn't matter if you go with that mentality. Of course, you're not gonna win. Like you gotta stay positive, man. Like come on. If you stay like that all of the time, like you're not gonna like progress. And I'm like, he's actually right. He's actually kind of right. And so like since then, I've just had that mentality of like, just be chill. It's not like go ahead and disrespect your opponent, and be like, "Ha, I'm better than you." Like no, but just be like, "Ah, yeah, he's a top player," but like that doesn't mean it's impossible for you to beat him. You know, like he's a human like the rest of us.
It like what you're saying to me sounds in a way like it's obvious. Like, just have fun, be happy, be positive, and then give yourself opportunities to actually learn and to compete without like hating yourself and hating life. And yet, I see so many other players, both online and in person, that are so negative, are so down on themselves, and just seem to like hate themselves every time they lose or don't live up to their own expectations. Like, do you have any advice at all with like how you could spread this positivity, or how other people can use the tools that you have?
Yeah, so I've had a couple of those on my streams. Because they usually, whenever I do viewer battles, I usually beat some people. I beat them like by a three stock or something, and they go like, "Oh my god, I suck," and I'm like, "You don't suck." The thing is, um, you're fighting against people who are like on another level, and those are people that are like just starting to play Smash. So it's like if you're losing to, I don't know, one of your best players in your region, and you're just starting to play Smash, or you're in that mid level, don't expect to like immediately do well. You have to like learn. You have to like you. It's like it's like literally like driving, for example. Driving is something that you learn over time. You don't learn it on like a day, or at least you can learn how to drive on a day, like in a day, sure, but you cannot learn how to deal with like traffic or deal with like all of those situations in real life. That's the same thing in Smash. Like you can learn how to play Smash in a day, but you cannot learn how to like deal with, I don't know, tournament nerves or like adaptation in the middle of a set against a top player. Like that's the thing. And I completely understand them because when I was starting, I had the same feelings because I used to get like 33rd or 49th at tournaments, and I obviously felt like trash. I was like, at some point, I even said like, no, I'm gonna drop Game and Watch because I feel like he's like just holding me back. But then I learned that like it's literally just that. Like I know it sounds cliche and everything that you want, but honestly, it's just that. It's just that you just gotta be patient. You just gotta like, if you really wanna progress in this thing, then all you gotta do is like keep studying what you're doing or think about what you're doing. That's the thing. That's the thing. People don't really it's gonna sound rude, but that's not what I mean. People don't really like analyze what they're doing when they play, because like people who stay in the same um placing for like, I don't know, like a month or so, is because they're not analyzing what they're doing wrong, and that's it. That's all they gotta do. As the moment people start analyzing what they're doing wrong instead of like regretting themselves, that's when the entire Smash community is gonna change. Trust me on
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like most competitive games. Like, I feel like gamers in general just don't like to look at themselves and say, hey, I could have done this wrong. They like to say, hey, Pichu F tilt's broken.
that.
It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And the thing is, like, what you said is totally true. Like, even with your tip, that small tip you gave us about avoiding bacon, like, so many players would kind of just say, oh, that's cool, but then not internalize it when they actually get to the moment that they want to use it.
Yeah.
uh like noting down every one of these things and making and like using every all of the experience that you've had productively is so important, and I'm really glad that you brought that up. That's a really cool point.
Yeah, I love that. I think that that's like one thing that I've noticed between new players and even like we'll say mid-level players. A big difference is like accountability, like admitting when you made mistakes and actively trying to learn from those mistakes and to change your habits. Now, I've kind of noticed that behavior between like mid-level players and the level players. You've been on the top level, and you like you described have been a noob at a certain point. Like, what is the main difference, or what are some of the differences between low level players and the guys that are on the top?
Alright. So low level players tend to just like autopilot. That's the exact word for it. They tend to autopilot. They like play the game, but they are not really like thinking of what they're doing. Like they don't think like, okay, if I approach this way, then it is safe. But if I approach this other way, it is not safe because I can get punished this way or I can get punished this other way. They just go ahead and do it. Like for example, if a Lucina, a low level Lucina, will just be like, "I let me spam forwarder to approach," and you will just be like, I mean, yeah, that works, but like a guy who will have like, I don't know, a link that will camp you out if you stay approaching with forwarder, what will you do about that? Like the link can just camp you out, that's it. And like the top level player will think like, I mean, if she's just approaching with forwarder, then like I can just stay here not moving, you know. So like that's the difference. Top level players analyze every single situation, like every single detail, like literally every single small detail, we analyze it, while low level players, they just do things just because they don't really think about the consequences of like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I love it. That's simple. And I think that's like implementable. Like, mostly because the problem you just described has a solution. Like, if you want to start improving it, all you have to do is start contemplating every single situation and trying to learn from every interaction, as much as possible. And of course, that takes time, but that is the path, that takes you forward. You're saying,
Oh, and now that you mention it, that's another thing. Because like, for example, say the Lucina like that keeps approaching with forwarder. Say, she gets punished by like I don't know. What would you like? By I don't know. She gets punished by like a move that outranges her. Say like a
cloud
Bowser
forward
approaching
error.
with forwarder. Yeah, a Bowser approaching with like tough guy forwarder, and he just tanks through it. Like a top level player would say like, "I let me just not approach like that anymore." But a low level player will keep approaching like that even though they got punished for doing so. That's another difference.
Yeah, I mean, we can clearly see that like people who have like this like massive computational power in their brain, like Mewtwo King, who can just say, okay, like this situation, this situation, this situation, like just compute it all in their head, and like we can see like how much power that has as a player. It's like the ability to just memorize and download every single one of these situations is so important. And I don't think you need to be Mewtwo King. I think I agree like with what you said is you just need to be analyzing it. It's like every time you get in that situation, it's like, okay, why did this happen? What is like just break apart every single part of that situation and then just be aware of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Meet the King is a great example of that, honestly. Um, but yeah, I like that, Meister. I like that. Do you think that there is like a path forward? Like, how would you tell someone, okay, look, you're bad right now. You might be bad. I was bad once too. But this is how you become a top player. Like, give them like, an outline. Like, what is their road to greatness?
If you want to be a top player, you have to put a lot of time into the game. Like, and when I say a lot, it's literally a lot. I used to play at least not anymore, but I used to play at least like 5 hours a day, just practicing, like training mode, like matchups, watching videos of previous tournaments where I lost or even the ones I won. Um, you literally have to invest a lot of time into the game, like, and that is what will lead you to victory. Because some like players that want to be like top players, they go like, "Oh yeah, I invest a lot of time into the game." Do you really though? Do you spend hours watching bots of you? Do you actually take time practicing on your in this case on your Switch? Do you really like start looking at like frame data of your character, see what are your best options out of shield, or what are your quickest options whenever you're getting pressured? Are you really investing all of that time into the game? Like that's the most important thing that you have to do. Cause like at least for me, um I I got like a little boost because like when I was bad, Chag started training me. Him and his brother were the ones who taught me like the fundamentals and everything. And after that, I started like practicing every single day, even more and more and more, to the point where like I finally got like a good placement at a tournament. I got fifth, and ever since then, I did not drop from those kind of placements. So if they really want to become top players, they have to invest time into the game by doing everything I literally just said right now. Because like investing time into the game is not just playing Elite Smash for an hour and 30 minutes. It's doing all of that stuff that I just said. That's investing time into the game. And that's how you're gonna get to be a top player. There's no other way.
Dude, I love it, man. No nonsense. Like, how often are people truly honest with themselves? How often are people truly realistic with the practice that they actually do? And I love that, man. It's no mistake that you've gotten to the point that you've gotten to, and it was well earned, and it's inspiring because everybody else has the tools to do that. Everybody has a couple hours they can designate to like real structured practice, like VOD review and training. So yeah, thanks for your answer, Meister. Meister, but we are kind of running out of time here. Before you go, I want to ask you, man. I know that you're big on Twitch. You're kind of Mr. Twitch. Can I call you that?
Yeah, sure.
Do you prefer Senor Twitch? Does that work?
I mean, sure, man. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Plug your Twitch and plug your Twitter. Where can people find you? Where can people get to know you better?
Alright, so you all can follow me on Twitter at Meister_SSB. Or you could follow me on Twitch, and most importantly, drop the Twitch Prime. You can watch me on Twitch. I stream Monday to Thursday and Sundays. I don't stream Fridays and Saturdays. You can find me at twitch.tv/Meister GNW. So that's Meister Game and Watch, essentially. I do viewer battles. I do a ton of other random stuff, but mostly viewer battles. So in case you guys want to go and practice in there, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, dude. We'll definitely put all that stuff in the show notes and in the description for you guys at home if you wanna watch Meister do his thing. Meister, man, I'm really happy to see you've had so much success recently, man. And you're a good dude. You're one of the good ones, and I want to see you continue to do big things. I want to see you take all of Salem's money. And let me repeat that if anybody wants to bet for Salem, you can find me at Peon_GCE. I am throwing money on the line for my boy. All right.
Hey, let's go. And I won't disappoint you.
Well, all right, buddy. Until next time.
See ya, man.
Welcome back to Beyond the Metagame. AV, that was our interview with the great Meister. I almost said the great late Meister, but he's certainly not dead. We spoke to him very recently.
Yeah, that's not an adjective to use to precede his name, but he was certainly great. Has had a lot of good things. Really was a very well-rounded interview. I think it was cool, touched on a lot of stuff. For people that just want to get better, for people that want to push their low tier, for people that want to stay positive, it kind of had everything.
Yeah, dude. Let me just say, Meister's such a cool guy. Like, if you enjoyed his personality, please give him some love on Twitter. That'll be in the show notes, of course. He's such a sweet guy. I've had the privilege of hanging out with him before, getting some in and out with them and like playing some friendlies with them and stuff at a few tournaments. And his love for the game is contagious. So it was awesome to have him on here and just like let him speak about what he thinks about the game and how to improve. It was fun, man. It was great having him on.
Yeah, it really showed. His love for the game really showed, and it was just obvious that he was just super excited all the time, and his positivity is infectious. Like I just want to go play the game. I just want to go. I hate training mode, and now I actually want to go into training mode now. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things they said was like the whole idea of finding your own style, like disregarding anything else, and just like play the game the way you want to play it. And just do it better than other people. Find yourself in your gameplay, and that was such a cool concept. I'm definitely gonna try to think about that going forward, like in my play, and think about how I can make my own gameplay my own. Because he's living embodiment of that. He's the proof that can work. He does that on the regular with his boy Game & Watch. So why can't you? Why can't I? Why can't any listener who listened to this interview do the same?
Yeah, and it's so crazy that he did it with like this unique combination of not only like Game & Watch as a character, but also his own personal style of Game & Watch, which kind of he went into. It's a super unique character that can be played so many different ways, and that definitely motivates me to do the same with my character. That being said, we have some questions from our listeners today. Peon, do you want to get right into that?
Yeah, sure thing. So first one comes up from Generic. Generic asks, what kind of activities would you recommend outside of Smash to improve and or maintain your physical and mental gameplay? what habits do you have to prepare your mind, or what habits do you have to prepare your mind and body for upcoming tournaments?
So I don't do anything in particular for tournaments or Smash, but my general routine, which has seemed to work for me, is I meditate at the very least once per week, and I go to the gym 4 times a week. It's pretty simple. Don't do really anything outside of that. I mean, I try to maintain a pretty clean diet. What about you, Peon?
Yeah, I cannot stress enough how big of an influence exercise is on my overall mental well being, and also how that directly applies to the world of Smash for me. Um, if I'm able to complete my routine outside of Smash, all the things that I do in my life to make myself a better person in general. So whether that be diet, exercise, studying and improving in other skills in general, as long as I'm keeping up all of those routines, I feel like my sort of progress in life becomes horizontal, and it spreads the love with all of my hobbies. So it's like when the tide rises, or when the tide is high, all ships rise, right? Is the expression.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's one specific thing that you should do, generic. I just say get everything together, get all of your various aspects of life together, and I think that your Smash game will improve. For me, that's exercise, though.
Yeah, just to interject really quick, sleep, 100%, in my opinion, the most important thing. Exercise is awesome. Eating right is awesome, but sleep is something that's really easy to control. So unless you have any conditions that preclude that, but sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, and that's super important for tournaments. So Crom08 asks, do you have any suggestions on reading other players? I read well in quick play, but at my local I have trouble reading what my opponent might be thinking.
Yeah, so it comes down to this for me. When it comes to reading an opponent, I really try to do it broadly. So let's say I see my opponent scared. When they're in disadvantage, they use defensive options generally, right? It doesn't even matter which defensive option, but I can just tell that they're afraid. They panic under pressure, right? If I can get that read, for instance,
Yeah,
then that can inform my options, right? But I think about it very broadly. What kind of dude is this person? Are they the kind of person that tries to fight every time they're backed into a corner? Are they the kind of person that will approach me no matter what? I try to find these kind of broad definitions for their play style and then pick my strategies in response to these broader observations.
that's really cool. I like that. I like that approach a lot. I think that sums it up pretty well. The only thing I would add is I try to take the player away from it. I try to take the humane aspects of the player. I mean, that sounds a little robotic and weird, but I try to kind of isolate everything to specific moves and specific styles. I try to remove every human aspect of the game to just kind of take away all distractions.
Dope. So Markai asks, how do I get over my tournament nerves? Markai has been to a few tournaments and always seems that they can't calm themselves down, and they feel out of place even though everyone's there to play Smash just like they are, and it started to affect how they play. They even say they choke when they have the lead. How do you address all that stuff, Maybe?
I mean, just to take a page out of a friend of the show, PhD Louis, it's all about your internal dialogue. I know sports psychologist Steve also said this a lot. It's about controlling what is going on in your head and what you're saying to yourself. A lot of the time, it's as simple as redirecting your negative thoughts to positive ones. And again, easier said than done. But personally, and in practice, every time that I've been able to kind of redirect my thoughts, I've just been able to get back to that flow state as quickly as possible, where I'm just kind of flowing and not really thinking. So anything that I can do to be more productive and positive has always helped me to kind of regain my footing in these situations where my nerves are starting to get the better of me. How about you, Peon?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think that one more thing I would add is that your nerves are almost always a response to your expectations, right? Maybe so find out, what are you nervous about? Are you nervous about winning? Okay, well that's because you expect the result of victory. That's what you're there for. That's what you're hoping for. So nip the bud at its source, right? Maybe orient your goal to where maybe you don't want to win, but maybe you want to learn something specifically about the matchup. Take the pressure off yourself, make things more process oriented as opposed to results oriented, and that all starts with identifying what exactly is the cause of the nerves, right? What specifically gives you the anxiety, and then try to reroute the causers of that anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to be it for our questions today. So, Peon, where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me at peon_GCE. Let me say that one more time for you at home. That's peon_GCE. That's Golf Charlie Echo for all of you vegetarians.
Yeah, and people can find me at A plus my long Indian last name, A Vaidyanatha. So that was an awesome show, Peon. I think
Maybe you forgot.
What?
You can also find us on Twitter at Beyond Metagame. That's at Beyond Metagame. You see, Twitter did not leave any room for so it's just Beyond Metagame, which is not representative of the actual name of the show, which is Beyond the Metagame, as you all well know. Guys, that is all we have for this week. Thank you so much for giving us a listen. Again, super shouts to this week's guest, Maister, who really made a great impression and whose love for the game and just positivity towards life was so evident. It was an awesome time having him on. So give him some love, give him a follow. And with that, we conclude. Thank you, as always, for listening, and goodbye.